Hello. I was running a little late. I was procrastinating. It was perfect for all the things I've been talking about for the last 5 days. The principles and laying the foundations for finding your first five, which is the course I'm running. I'm going to be running. I am launching right now and offering, and super early bird registration is currently available, and there's going to be 2 new bonuses in there. And so check it out. If you haven't met before, I am Brenda. I am an artist. I am called to inspire ambitious, spiritual, creative women to live a life of joyful purpose in connection with their muse. I'm what I call traditionally creative. I'm a painter. I'm in my bedroom right now sharing this, and that's one of the paintings that I hang some work in my bedroom to kind of make room. I have 2 kids at home. One is 5 and one is just turned 1, who is kind of woken up a little early for her nap again. So I have to make this one quick. But today I've been doing this live stream series because I am launching the first 5 course, laying the foundations to find your first 5 dream customers, clients or collectors online, finding the fun, fulfillment and funds, because you need it in order to keep making that creative work for your new creative work that you want to offer. So the last few days, if you haven't caught them, definitely catch up on them. Yesterday was on how you're building more than just a biz, and what are the 4 things that you need to show in order to kind of connect with and to find your dream customers and clients, and to connect with them and how to bring them closer and then to make them into actual clients or customers. And so, which leads beautifully into today about building your community, because that is what you're doing, right? The 4 shows that you had to do from yesterday, it is about building kind of like your audience, if you know what I mean, especially when you're coming online. That's what you need to do. You're building an audience, you're building a community, because you're not just a business, you are a brand. I talked about this yesterday, because you're a creative, you're an artist, you have things that you're showing, and what you are selling, in a sense, is not just that thing. Like, I don't sell just paint on canvas. I am selling an emotion. I am selling communication and connection to your inspiration and to your heart and to your own creativity. My paintings serve as mirrors for my dream collectors to reflect back to them their love of beauty, their values, their inner desires and their vision for themselves, and it connects them back to their own creativity and their love of color. And it is almost meditative sometimes, because they live with it and they look at it and they see a new detail every day, and it kind of evolves with them as they grow. So can you see how it is more than just a painting? And those are my dream collectors. You know, sure, there are probably some people who might sell paintings and it's more about decoration, and it matches their home, because their dream customers and collectors are about living a certain view of their home and have a certain vision for that. Mine is a little different. And so to find the answers for yourself in your creative work is, I think, in day 2, yes, to find that clarity. And so today we're talking about that community, right? We're building on yesterday's talk about the 4 things that you need to show in order to connect and to kind of build your brand in that sense. Today, the community is important. You're building an audience, because that is where you're going to be finding your dream customers and clients. But on the other hand, and this is the thing that I learned the hard way, took me ages to do this, was to also build a community of people like me, to build colleagues. Because when you're, selling work online and you're just kind of stepping out and offering your creative work, sometimes it's not like you haven't built that company and business, if that is your vision, that empire, right? You're starting out small. You're talking about first 5 clients still. You're dipping your toes in. And sometimes that journey means that you're very alone in the studio, or your version of an office, or whatever it is. Maybe it is just about building that community of creatives, of connecting with someone who get where you've been at, having mentors that kind of understand this space. And I took a long time to do that, because I was like, no, I'm too busy, I've got things to do, nobody will understand, I'd rather be making the work. But having a community of colleagues and of mentors who can help me see what I don't even know I don't see, that I'm blind to, as well as building my own community and being able to step up as a leader in that would have been important. I wish I had done that earlier. And so for today, I need to start sharing these videos first. As always with all my videos, make sure you comment below if you're watching live. Say hi. Don't be just lurking silently in the background. It does help with all my videos if you comment and you give me a little love heart, or just a little wave, or, you know, favorite emoji, whatever that is. I always say if you're watching live, comment below #YayLive. If you're watching a replay, hi replay viewers, I love you guys. There's always a lot of you because I totally get it. I'm a mum. Sometimes you just have to save these videos and watch them later. Comment below #YayReplay so I know you've been here. And I find, and I know this for myself, when I proactively, I apologize for that noise, my baby's gonna be calling soon. I know when I proactively comment, especially any aha straight away, if I make a comment of it straight away, it helps it cement deeper into my mind, into my heart, and it helps me remember and bring it closer, the insights that I just gained. And I hope that you would do that for yourself as well. I mean, unless you're free and you're sitting down writing notes, which I hope all my videos, especially with this live stream series that I'm doing, this First Steps live stream series, I hope that is something that it will share value that you feel like you need to write down and implement straight away, because I will be bringing this inside to my First 5 course for my students, because they will need to be able to watch this. It does lay like the foundations, like the preparing of the ground before you can lay the foundations kind of thing. Although all the topics will be diving a lot deeper into the course as well, and I'll talk about that a bit later. For now, today, building that community, I wanted you to think about the number 100. Okay, today, the number 100. We're talking about building that community. We're talking about having a mastermind, right? Not like a traditional sense, because I guess the course in a sense would be a mastermind. If you want to join that Facebook group, that is where you have access to me for personal attention. You can ask your questions and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, be connected to other students as well, so you're connected to that mastermind. But for yourself, for your business, for your when you're trying to just step forward, don't make the mistake of thinking you're going to do everything yourself. You can do all the research. I mean, you can. Or you can talk to family and friends, but not everyone's going to understand why you feel this need to follow this calling, to kind of like start offering it. Or maybe family and friends, you know, they're always well-meaning and they're like, yeah, you should totally sell that. That's great. You're so amazing. But then you're like, you're not sure. And you're like, really though? Is it really just them because they love you so much and they say that? And how do you ask these questions when you don't even know what you don't know, right? And so being connected to a community or to a mentor or to a mastermind that can help walk with you as you step forward onto this new path is really important. And I took way too long to start doing that, because when I started first hiring my first coach, those were the first things that you was talking about, not only for me to like make that investment for myself, but really to tell myself that I'm taking this seriously. And at the same time, being connected to other people, it means I didn't feel so alone. And when you don't feel so alone, when some fear comes up, or when you hit kind of like a snafu or just a little bit of a bump on the road, which will happen, you don't immediately allow resistance in your inner critic to kind of pull you down. And so this number 100 for today, I learned this from, I'm not even sure, from Being Boss podcast, I think, and listening to a lot of books and things like that. But the idea of one of the first thing with the number 100 I want you to think of is, they call it the hot shit 100, right? Make your hot shit 100, as in make your list of 100 people that you'll be like, oh, it'll be great to be connected to this person, someone you admire. Oh, it'd be great if this person kind of like, you know, bought my thing or works with me, and oh, I love the way that this person does this thing. I would love to be friends with them online. And the beauty of online and technology that we have nowadays, on Facebook and with business pages and even celebrities now on social media and stuff, you do have much better access than you would in previous times. And although you may be on your list, you know, you have Oprah or a celebrity actor or something, but at the same time there might be someone you're following, or maybe it's me, you've been following me for a while, or it's somebody else. Like, put them all down onto your 100 list. And the idea of 100 is, it sounds like a lot, and it is, but it means you kind of have no choice but to just write every single idea you have in order to fill that 100. And that trick in itself allows you to get rid of that voice that goes, oh, how would you do that? How is That's not the question. We're not talking about how. We're just asking you to make that list of 100. And so maybe these are just like you're seeing somebody else who's doing something which is one of your inspirations for. Maybe you can do it too, right? Maybe if you're a jeweler and you've been making bits of jewelry and you're thinking now, I want to really learn more and start offering it to the world, because you've been following a couple of jewelers and they are maybe like 1 or 2 years ahead of you and they've just started, and you kind of admire their work and you love that how much they're doing it, and they are the reasons why you want to start doing your own and start offering yourself. Put them on that list, on that 100 list that you think that they're the hottest shit ever and you admire them. Put them on that list. And for that first one, Hot Shit 100, what I would be asking you, and it will be in the course as well, and be more support and templates if you need to, that I can give you, but to write, pick 2 or 3 every week or so and send that person an email. Not pitching anything, not like being weird or stalkery, but just send them an email going, hi, I've been following you on Instagram, I've been following you on Facebook for a while, and I just want to let you know that I think your work is amazing, and I think that what you do is this, and the latest, or maybe the latest blog post, if they blog, your latest post was really amazing and you've inspired me in X, Y, and Z, and I just wanted you to know that you're doing great work, and I know that sometimes it's nice to receive emails like this, and I've been making it my mission to connect with these people whose work I really admire. I just wanted you to know that. And then you sign off, and that is it, and you just send it off. It's a little bit of, maybe it's like a gratitude list or a sending out love list, but of people that you admire and think are amazing. And this is how I made like 2 friends that I've made online who were amazing painters. They don't paint anything quite like what I do, but I just thought their work was amazing. And I just sent them that email. Or actually I sent one person that email, and then she replied and we became friends because she was kind of local to me. And there was another one who I didn't even realize, but she was receiving my emails, and she actually emailed me in reply to one of my newsletter emails. And I was like, oh my goodness, you have no idea. I admire your work so much. And now, we're friends, although we're both mums as well. And so we haven't really caught up. You know who you are. We need to catch up more. So this is part of building your community, of your colleagues, of people that you're like, imagine if you could be friends with that person because you love what they're doing. So make that Hot Shit 100 list, and that's your thing to build your community of your peers, I guess, in a sense. Although people on this list, you might be like, oh my God, they're so far above me, I couldn't even imagine them as a peer. But we're not talking about how. Well, I'm just saying make that list, make it like a wish list, but at the same time, make it part of a habit. We're talking a lot about habits in this live stream series, to contact them and send them an email, and just to say and send them that love and why they inspire you, and that's it. So that's the first 100. Today we're talking about 100. Make sure you say hi if you just come on. A couple of people come on live. Make sure you say hi and make a comment, and that really helps boost my videos, but also because I want to say hi. And so it's not like weird when people kind of come on and then they just don't say anything. It's kind of like weird. Anyway. So today we're talking about thinking of the number 100. I want you to think of the number 100 for this video, for day 5 of this live stream series. So the first one was about the Hot Shit 100. The second one is I probably should have done this one first. Oh, that would make sense. But anyway, it just flows the way it flows. All right, that's what creativity is. And so this 100 is to think of the 100 rejections, 100 crap. So with all the stuff that I talked about in the previous days, if you haven't watched it, definitely watched it. If you're on Instagram, I think on my IGTV I do a little summaries of it. I think though it is posted on my Facebook page, so everything's on my Facebook page. Just go there and watch it all. So it's for all the habits that I'm talking about, right? You have to make the art when you're first starting out, to connect with your dream customers or clients as you're starting to share your offering with the world, is to, make posts, to talk about it, to talk about the story behind it, to share you, to show some sort of value, like what I'm doing right now. Okay, I am creating this new body of work, which is a course called First 5, and it's a mini course. It's going to be students, I've got students and everything. That is the work of art, in a sense, that offering, that mini course, which is open for super early bird registration right now if you would like. I should actually, I forgot I was supposed to be sharing all these videos, sharing this live out to people. So, you know, so you got to, this is the offering, the art that we're talking about. And let me get distracted right now. But right now on this live stream series, I am doing this free 5-day live stream series, although I'll be doing a few more live streams again next week as I continue to talk about First 5 and launching it. This series that I'm offering, I hope, is been super valuable. It's been a lot of information, and in itself, it's also its own kind of work of art. It is another kind of creation. And so I talked about that in day 3, where you have to not only work the art and create that habit of doing it, as well as creating the art that talks about your offering and your art. And that's the marketing side of things, which yesterday I talked about the 4 things that you need to show. You know, so you got to show up and be consistent. And so this second 100, although probably should have been the first one, is to think about how, just like with your artwork, let's say painting or whatever the creative work you've done, and you've done this in the past as well, whatever that you're like find easy now, your first 100 tries was probably a bit crap. And I like to think of it as 100 because it feels like a lot, but it also means you have more space to make mistakes and to try and to keep going and to get better. And so when you're sending emails to people because you just want to connect with them or whatever, maybe that you might get rejected. And the idea of this 100 is to go, you know what, I'm happy because I know I'm going to need to get 100 rejections. Or I need to keep making posts and show up on Facebook Live so that I can show me and talk about the work that I want to offer and start going down this road of creating this little biz, right? Well, maybe your first 100 Facebook Lives is probably going to be a little awkward and a little bit crap and a little bit like you're not as confident, but the only way to reach that point that you want, at that level of expertise or the level of flow really, is you need to think about how you're going to get that first crappy 100 out of the way. And so to build that community, first of all, your not only just your colleagues and peers and friends, but also the community of your audience from where you will find your dream customers and clients. You're going to think, for every 100 people who are going to be like, oh, I don't get you, this is how you find your dream customers and clients and stuff. So if your first 100 posts that you're sharing of your artwork, as you improve your actual artwork or the work that you do, whether it is writing or whether it is painting or whether it is making courses because you want to mentor people, and the posts, you're writing posts to share your insights and your story and your resources, you got to think about it. The first 100 is going to be not to the highest level that you would like, and I'm not saying that that's the case. It might be the first 10 or whatever, and you might because you're naturally talented, but the idea is that you have to get rid of the crap before you can get to the gold. And I see this even with my Facebook Lives. I've done so many of them now, but even when I first start, like the first few minutes, it's always going to be like rambling, kind of awkward, and it doesn't quite get into the flow yet, but I have to allow that crappy part before the flow kind of comes, and then all the good stuff comes through, and all the insights and ahas and gems, and the way I'm even like phrases that I'm wording them is so much better. But I had to allow that crappy part first. And so for the second 100, the first 100 was about your hot shit 100. The second one is to allow that 100 rejections, or the 100 crappy posts, or the 100 tries. That's, I guess, my point, is to make that 100 tries and to keep that number in mind, because you're always forever improving. You're always forever getting better. So definitely comment below #100 tries, and so that I remember this is what I'm going to be sharing, because I'll definitely dive deeper into this in the course. I didn't even think about that before, but for this, 100 is the number of the day, it's the word of the day. Yesterday's word of the day was show, and so today is about the 100. So hot shit 100, and then your 100 rejections, your 100 tries, your 100 posts that you're going to try and do. If you're going on Instagram, you're starting a new Instagram account and you're trying to find your first 100 followers, right? And knowing that your first 100 posts, they're not going to be the best because you're still trying to work it out. You're still trying to find your flow. You're still trying to find your system. You're still trying to find what works and what attracts the kind of people that you do want to attract. And what we want to attract is not just dream audience, people who just like your stuff and make comments, but you you want to find your dream customers and your dream clients and your dream collectors, people who not only love you and love the work that you do, but they actually want to step forward and connect with you deeper and exchanging money for it and take home that artwork, whether that is a book or a course, or whether it's a painting. They want to work deeper with you, and we want to attract people in that way. And so if you can keep that 100 in mind, that is how you keep moving forward. So the days where you feel like, oh, everything is silent or no one is getting it, you're like, well, that's just part of my 100 rejections. That is how that's how I found, and that's how everyone I've seen online, this is what they've had to get through and make it into a practice and make that into a habit. So can you comment below? 100 rejections, 100 posts, 100 tries, and whatever else that you feel like that you want to, that you're a bit nervous about trying. Can you comment below? What is that you're a bit nervous about trying, or you feel like you're not good enough yet? And then how could you incorporate this idea of the 100 into it? While I share this video, I was supposed to be showing this at the very beginning. I'm sorry to interrupt us, but have a little break for my voice as well. So yeah, here we go. Let me put as well a bit low. The super early bird registration is available. It's now open. There's only a few days left at this price before it goes back to normal registration. Even though then it's amazing value. I was supposed to, I feel like it was supposed to be double that price, but I like to also price according to a kind of gut feel versus just the marketing business type of thing, you know, because I can, and I'm a creative. As a creative, you have your own rules sometimes. But Super Early Bird is available at the moment, and it's very limited seats, and you can get in. There's already 2 bonuses in there. And pre-work is going to start next week, so then you can get started on the pre-work and really start laying the foundations ahead and jumpstart that. And by the end of the course, you'll be ready to start looking, or already started connecting with your audience and your first 5 clients and customers before Christmas. That's the whole point. And let me share this to my few places. And yes, comment below the 100. What is the thing that you're nervous about, that you feel like this idea of this theme of 100 tries that you could do in order to find your groove, find your flow, and improve the way you would like to and feel more comfortable doing? Is it a Facebook Live? Is it videos? Is it showing up? Is it starting an Instagram account? Is it making YouTube videos? What is it? I would love to know. Community, come say hi. All right, so now the third 100 that I want to talk about. So first we had talked about the Hot Shit 100, to find your colleagues and friends, and really send out gratitude and inspiration to the people who have inspired you in their work, or the way they show up, or something that they did and they teach, and make that habit of giving out that way. Like, if you want to have comments and likes and things, you need to give it in return first. That's the way it works with, you know, life in general, and on social media as well. You will find with whatever platform that you want to go on, and when we're online, social media is a big part of that. We do talk about, and I'm not sure if I said this in yesterday's thing, but you know, so a lot of people make the mistake of being distracted by fancy things that they think they need to have online in order to find their first 5 clients or customers. Stuff like needing a fancy website. Nowadays, not really. You don't actually need to. You don't need a fancy one. You probably don't even need an actual website. We will talk more about that in the course. You know, ways that you could just whip up one really quickly. But the foundation part of it, right? You're not attracting actual customers because you have a fancy website. You need to have that community, and that is what we're talking about today. You need to have that audience. You need to have that connection. You need to have the foundation of that habit of being able to show up consistently and to have clarity about who it is that you're talking to. And when things feel a little hard, you need to have that ability and that practice and that commitment to being curious, because you're starting. When you're first finding your first 5 anything, you're still not quite sure. You're still not knowing all the answers. And so that sense of curiosity is how you're going to be able to keep pushing forward. And as well as this, today's what we're talking about with the having the second thing I'll talk about, the second 100, is the idea of the 100 tries, 100 posts, 100 rejections, being aware of that, being willing, and to embrace that as part of this journey. That is how you make it into a practice. That's how you don't become so emotionally attached to it. So then you become so reactive. And then this sense of protecting your ego is going to be more important than this call that you have within you to actually start offering your work to the world, which is why we're here, right? Even if you're just curious, you're not even sure that you want to build a whole business, but you know you just want to start offering it online, you got to be prepared. Be prepared to that your first few goes is going to be not that great. It's not going to be as great as the amazing work that you see that other people are doing. You may have forgotten that they've done more than 100 of that thing, and you're just starting. And so if you can embrace this number 100, then it will help pull you through. And this is how then you can do your Hot Streak 100, and you can connect with peers, and you can find people who are going through similar journeys, or who are maybe just a few steps ahead of you, or like joining this course, right? This is how some of my best online friends are, because I joined a course, or because I joined a mastermind group. It means we have similar goals, we have similar situations, we are similar in the ways that we are at home we are full-time mums and things, and so we're trying to weave business and babies as well as that creative work. And feeling this sense that you're not alone is how you can keep going, and this is how you can keep building and connecting with dream customers and clients and collectors, because we're not just trying to find the funds. You're not just making a business where you're just selling a throwaway thing. You are selling your heart and your creativity, and so you want to have that fun and fulfillment part of it as well, and this is how you do that. And so the third 100 I want to talk about today is making your 100 opportunities list. And this is where the idea is, opportunities, I like to think of it as both ideas as well as opportunities that you see around you. And this is why I love the number 100, because 100 feels like a lot. And trust me, it's a lot when you're writing it down. But a lot of the times we get distracted once we come up with 2 or 3 ideas. If I go to you, write down 10 ideas that you have now that you can start offering your work online. And obviously I've been sharing them already in the live stream series, and as you're writing them, your inner critic and your resistance goes, but how are you going to do that? Oh, that's a stupid idea, and who are you to do that? You could never do that. That voice, but if you're committed to finding 100, and that means you have to search through every corner and really dig under every rock to just write it down, because you need to fill in those lines. It kind of means that you can really, like I said about the 100 tries, really dig deep and find the gold. And knowing that, half of it's probably not going to turn out to be anything. But when I say this to my girls all the time, or to my 5-year-old, because the baby doesn't understand anything I'm saying, is that you will always find what you're looking for. And if you keep looking, you're going to find it. And so this 100 opportunities list, I call it, and I think of ideas as well. So maybe you Christmas is coming up, and you could offer some kind of Christmas special where you're gonna offer your thing in a way to try and get your first taste and your first customers in. We will talk a lot more about in the course about the actual logistics and tech of things, like how to pay you and stuff. Although that's stuff that you can totally Google online. The course is more than just the stuff that you can Google online and the tech stuff, because tech stuff always changes, but it's the decision making and the not being distracted by fancy stuff which you don't need. So make your 100 list of opportunities. Maybe it is you suddenly met a friend of a friend and they want to do something that you want to offer, which is like, if your course is, maybe you've had a life transformation. You are suddenly traveling on the road full time. You had a health scare and you're now like fit as anything you can't even imagine, but you do remember 5 years ago how you couldn't even move from the couch, but now you've found this beautiful intersection of yoga and health or something, and you want to start offering your knowledge and your experience out with a booklet, right? And so think of 100 opportunities for not only just the booklet, but for you in this creative work. So maybe it is, let me think off the top of my head, like joining a group. Maybe it is going to your local yoga studio. Maybe it is going to your local cafe and putting pamphlets out, offering, you know, a free yoga session so that you can test out your process or whatever. And you see how like some of these, you're like straight away your mind's like, oh no, I can't do that. See, this is, you're trying to quieten down that voice, and that becomes a practice. And so this 100 opportunities, it could be, if it was paintings like me, it could be, is there a competition, or you have a local cafe you want to hang it, or do you just start posting every day and do 100 a day project of the making of your work, and then that is how you build your audience. Do you hold a competition to get likes and followers on your thing? Do you share, or you know someone who's doing this other thing but it would match really well with your thing, and maybe you could send them an email and pitch them and say, could we work together on this project proposal idea? That's an opportunity. Write that down to your 100 list and make it a practice to kind of just like write down those ideas and fill it out. And this trains your mind, it trains your practice and makes it into a habit of thinking of ideas, of using your creativity, which you already are and you already do in your creative work, but you can exercise it in other areas. You know, you read something. This is when suddenly opportunities feel like they're coming out from everywhere, where you get ideas. You see someone do something, you go, oh, I could probably do that. And you write that down on your list. So, right? I know it feels like, oh, so many, hundreds. But I love that number because it means you have no choice. You have to fill it out because there's an actual specific quantity. But at the same time, it means you stop rejecting. I know I make that into a habit where I think of an idea and I was inspired and I'm asking for inspired ideas. But then it comes and then I straight away go, oh no, that's too hard. Oh no, who am I to be able to do that? I'm not ready yet, or I'm not good enough yet, or whatever it is, or like, oh, that's not what I want. That's going to require me to like be vulnerable, to be seen, or to show up in a way, and I'm not ready and I'm not good enough. It's, you know, the same stuff. But because you have to fill it out, you just fill it out. Because then the next step after that, and we'll talk about this in the course, is to somehow have a system to go through it and go, okay, how could I actually do this? What is an easy way for me to start implementing this opportunity? You know, how could I maybe just brainstorm what you would need to do to actually do it, or if it's send an email to this person, send that email to that person, and then make it again into a habit to keep filling the 100. You know, when things get someone sends a rejection letter, well, there you go, that's part of your 100 rejections, right? Someone doesn't reply, whatever, you put that, you know, in the back burner for a while and come back and visit it later. Or maybe something does happen, because if you do keep trying, putting stuff and throwing things on the internet and trying it out, at the very least, you will get more clarity on what you find that works for you, what you find fun, surprisingly, or you've also learned for sure what your dream customers or clients kind of like, the people that it tends to attract, and you know that this actually works or this doesn't work. But the only way that happens if you actually action it, right? I keep saying that sometimes clarity will only come after you take that first step. And so trust not only yourself, that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you are already totally ready as you are where you are, and you can start where you are and use what you have and do what you can. And so, to sum up, that was really long, that to think of the number 100, right? The very first one, which it should have been the first one, even though if you've been watching this video, thank you for being here. I hope you've been commenting below. And I would love for you to like think of ideas or everything. or message me any questions about the course. If you're not sure or any issues about stuff, I would love to hear from you. Think of the 100 tries. Just with any creative process, anytime you're starting something new, anytime you're first starting, it's always going to be scary, but I hope you hold on to that excitement and curiosity. Is the idea of the 100 tries. You've got to try 100 times before you can get and improve to the level that you like. And you've got to understand, just like in this live stream, all my videos, no matter how much well prepared I am, although today, this idea of the 100 just came today. But I also trust that because I've done so many of these Facebook Lives. But knowing that, it will always start with a little bit awkward and a little bit clunky. You know, just like when you were a baby and toddler, like a toddler now, like just really awkward and have no idea and it's falling on your ass so much, right? And just being awkward. But the only way to get to the smooth and easy and running and flow is you have to be okay with that 100 rejections, or the 100 crappy posts, or the 100 crappy artwork, or the 100 kind of awkward, embarrassing, whatever it is. Maybe it won't be exactly 100, but the idea is if you can be okay with 100 and you actually seek it out, the 100 failures even, although you don't really fail, you're just getting more information about what works and what doesn't work. If you can embrace that, this is how you improve not only your creative work, you also improve the clarity around the way you like to work and what works for you. And you also then expand in ways that you might not have realized, because then, right, the second one about the 100 is the 100 hot shit list. You make that list of people you admire, the people you love, whose work inspires you. This could be celebrities, but it could also be people who are just a few steps ahead of you, and you're just admiring their work, and it's because of their work that that made you feel like maybe you could do it too. Send them an email. Make it a practice and a habit to send 3 emails. Pick 3 of them. I haven't done it. I've done it consistently for a while, and then I haven't done it recently. But this is how I have made creative friends. This is how I've made creative friends who reached out to me, and I was just so amazed because I thought they were amazing, and I thought they were like complete celebrity in my mind, and then they were just ordinary people like me. And you know, so this is, but that wouldn't have happened if you don't just reach out. And with social media nowadays, you can DM people. I like to send an email because that's the way I like to be a little bit more personal myself, although I don't read a lot of my emails anymore. So maybe you could send them a message, whichever way that they prefer. If they use it for like their clients and stuff only, definitely don't overstep boundaries, because that will be weird. You don't want to be a weird stalker, but definitely make that list and then make it a process to send those emails. I will be sharing templates in the course itself, so that can help you, but I gave you a kind of rundown. Watch the replay. And I gave you a bit of a rundown. Just send them a quick email. It doesn't have to be like amazing. It's just telling them that you love them and what inspired them. And you're basically just giving without expecting anything in return. You're just giving them love and just telling them, just like you would love to receive a random email out of the blue telling you that the work that you do is amazing and it is appreciated and that it is seen. Because I know I appreciate those kind of emails. Because there are days where I feel like I'm talking to no one and no one cares, and why do I ever bother? And then you receive one of those emails and you're just like, oh, I am being seen and my work is being appreciated. So send out that love, because if that's the kind of love you want in return, start sending it out now. And the third one is to make your 100 opportunities list. This is where you're rummaging your brain in all the different corners and digging under rocks if you need to, because you need to fill out that 100. This is where you practice not only thinking of ideas and being inspired and constantly being connected to your own creativity, but also it trains your mind to keep looking at opportunities and ideas, and also it helps you practice ignoring the inner critic and the resistance and the little voice that comes up straight away, and you just like, I'm just writing this down. I am just writing this down. I'm not expecting perfection. I'm not expecting every single one of these to be ticked off and to get like a hell yes. You might get a whole bunch of rejections, but that's fine because you got 100 rejections. You know, you're embracing the idea. People might say no, or you might do it and you get in and then you kind of fail. That is part of it, because that's the 100 that you're embracing, but you got to write down your 100 opportunities list and then make a system of looking at it and trying to implement, you know, pick 3. I always go pick 3 and try and implement it, or brainstorm how you're going to, the action steps that you need to take, do what it is to do. And then when it becomes a practice and part of your habits, then there isn't so much reactivity with your emotions about how you're too crap, or you're not ready, or that you're not worthy, or that you shouldn't bother, and then you just end up spinning your wheels, and then you're just daydreaming. Then you're not actually doing it. So my baby is calling, and she'll be screaming soon, so I've got to go. I hope that was really valuable for today. If you haven't watched the other days, I hope you watch it. I'd love to know your insights and ahas, and what was like new, or what you loved, or what you're going to implement, especially what you're going to implement today. If you have any questions, definitely comment them below. I would love to know, or message me on my biz page. If you wanted to have access because you're like, crap, I want to just watch all the videos now in order. You don't have to watch them in order, but if you do, you can message me the word #first5, and then it will hook you up automatically to send you all the links to the videos as well. And that's also where you can just message me and ask me questions if it's specific to your thing, about the course, about this. Oh, and I should probably talk about the course. First 5, 4 weeks. 4 live trainings. We're going to be talking about the mindset stuff. That's going to be all the way, because if I've learned anything in the last 5 years, weaving, creating work, selling it, as well as for babies, being full-time mom, all that kind of stuff, is the mindset stuff is super important. I can tell you, oh yes, you need to make this list, you got to email this person, you got to start posting on Facebook every day, you got to start making these pictures talking about your art. The stuff that stops you isn't because of your tech skills or because you don't have enough time. It's all the mindset stuff. It's your belief work. It's your mindset work. And so we'll be talking a lot about that. We're talking about the making of the art, not just of the creative work that you're going to be doing, but how do you create that habit? How do you weave that with your life? Because your life, I hope, is full and amazing, and you got other responsibilities and a job and, you know, relationships and self-care, because that's important. How do you weave all of that with the creative work? Because there's a difference between doing something for fun and hobby, and when you start doing it for actual funds and fulfillment and to offer it to the world. And the weaving and balancing the client needs as well as your own needs as the creative. And so we'll be talking about that, creating that work, as well as the making of the actual art, talking about your art, which then leads to talking about the marketing side of things. And marketing is a very biz word, but how does that apply as creatives? How do you build a brand? And all of this is not like the big stuff, right? We've only got the 4 weeks together, and it's gonna be a lot that we're gonna be covering, but I wanted to be able to do it so that you could do it right before Christmas and start implementing the stuff now and start building that community and finding your first 5 clients. We're dipping your toes in, you're trying. You might not know the answers of who your exact dream customers are like, but you have a kind of idea. You're going to find that clarity by doing all this work. And building that brand means you're going to be building a foundation where you can evolve and be you, all of you that you are, because that's the easiest, and therefore then connect with your true fans, your true dream customers and clients who get you and love the way you think and love the way you work and admire you. And it's so amazing to meet these people, because I know who totally get it and they love the color, and I don't have to explain myself to be defensive. I could still, you know, I can swear as much as I like, because they're not going to be surprised because they've seen me on my videos, and then you know that I'm going to be imperfect, my hair like needs to be washed today, and that I'm going to be weaving babies and I'm going to be interrupted all the time. And it's okay with that, because that's who I am, and I've showed myself, and I've been building this brand. So the marketing side of things like that, and setting up your Facebook page and your profile, as well as your Instagram, and talking about Instagram stories, and sure, some tech stuff as well, and the tips and tactics that I've picked up over the years, but that evolves and changes. And then the idea of how do you evolve and change with it? How do you build a habit to keep that baseline? How do you keep going when it feels like no one is looking at your stuff, especially when you're first starting? And I totally get that. Which goes back to the mindset work, by the way. And then we also be talking about the masterminding stuff, the community. The fact that you're joining this course, you're already connected to me. You already have me in your little mastermind. I will be your mentor. I will show you the way. I will listen to you and hold space, and you can ask your questions that's personalized to you, and you can ask, you know, me, and ask me whatever, if anything that I can help you with, or I might know somebody else and that I can connect you with who is way better at whatever it is, you know, like visuals and what I've learned. I have spent so much money on courses and mentoring and coaches, and picked up so many tips and tricks, and then also evolved it into with my own work. So I would love to share all of that with you, and that's the whole point of sharing this course. So yes, so I'm so excited about this course actually. And so super early bird registration is now open. The link is below in the pinned comments, and I will see you next week. So super early bird registration will close very, very soon when I can get to it, because right now I got to get to my baby who probably needs more food because she loves to eat, but she's very specific about what she likes to eat depending on her mood for the day. Why? Anyway, I hope that was valuable. Remember the number 100. Make those lists. Start implementing them today. Like sending out love and inviting ideas, which is another form of love in my mind, to you. You know, there is the giving and the receiving and the asking. So keep that and do that today. And I will see you next time. I hope you have the best day ever. Love to know your thoughts and stuff. Definitely comment them below. And I will see you next time. Bye.